Welcome. Today's live is going to be kind of interesting for people that either want to save the buyer's commission, doubt buyer's agents earn the commission, and like to make them truly earn it. And I'm going to give a little history about why the real estate listing agreement, why the whole real estate commission thing, the agency thing is all screwed up. All right. And then I'm going to get to the point right away, and then I'll back into it because I hate, I know I'm supposed to give a hook story and an offer, but let me just tell you where it is right now. I've been getting a lot of calls because I've been talking about how to use an auction process to really get everyone working on the same team and get the one buyer to pay the most rather than 10 buyers to pay less than the most with a listing price. So here I went in, okay, as a real estate agent, I know this process is really weird. When I started, it used to be called, or maybe just before I started, it was called the listing agent and the selling agent. And the duties were all owed to the principal, the seller, and agents were charging 6% commissions usually, maybe 7, maybe 5. And they were offering some of their compensation to the seller's agent, and everyone had duties to the listing agent, and no one, it seemed, had duty to the buyer's agents. And then buyer's agency changed that. And then some states said, we can't have how can you be a dual agent? So like states like Florida changed it to transaction broker. Long story, we'll get into that in other stories. But now with the MLSs, with some major plaintiffs action groups are suing the biggest brokerages, saying they've created sort of cartel over the real estate commissions. And logically, their complaint sort of makes sense because back in the day, people working for the seller knew they wanted to incentivize all these potential people out there working with buyers to sell their home. They're like, we'll pay you some of our commission to do so. That was only logical in a day when the public needed buyer's agents. And it was really the only solution because otherwise people wouldn't be finding out about the house. They would only be working with yard signs and maybe local newspapers. There wasn't this vast way to spread out the information, broadcast the information. So, but now it's different. Buyers know about the information. The information is broadcast all over the MLS. And I'm about to give you the solution for why or how to best use this system that I've thought through. Here it is. You use the MLS, regardless of whether you want to pay a buyer's agent or not, and you offer $10 on the MLS or $100. Now, because of the lawsuits and because I know this works, I've seen it even when other people are saying there's almost no equity in the home. Please help me sell the house. I can only offer $1,000 in commissions. Normally, buyer's agents expect 2.5%, 3%, and houses don't get sold. But they're not. But as agents, as listing agents, we are not restricted by the MLS to the amount we can offer. I can offer $10 in the MLS, and I will for whoever wants to talk to me about this, because I want to use the MLS to broadcast your information so that people come to the auction and one buyer bids up the property. We don't need 10 buyers willing to pay a listed price, which is below the market. You need one buyer to go all the way up. And you can learn more about that at winnerscheck.net. But there are times, like in all my videos, I always have this caveat. If your home is unique, if you're trying to get above the market, top dollar, you fixed up the home, it's overdeveloped. Like let's say that you have a pool and a granny flat and you've redone your home and it's too good for the market. It's the best house on the street by far. And you need buyers that are willing to pay up, and you're thinking, well, I need the buyers working with agents they trust to tell them this house is worth more than the appraisers are going to say, because they're going to have to come with more than the 20% down in cash. So I need a strong buyer with an agent who's going to help them not get buyer's remorse or something like that. Now, there's lots of ways around this, but let's say you want to work with buyer's agents because you're like, I'd like to bring everybody to the table. Well, the economics major in me, the logical person